but we see that as a way that we can really fill a gap as a brokerage, so that, you know, as an agent, you can put together a $2,000 marketing package that's only going to cost you a couple $100 today, and then you pay for the rest of it at closing. And the advantage that gives you over all the other agents is massive. And I'm really excited for LPT to be a pioneer at the forefront of that.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 1 of a brand new weekly series that AJ and I are doing called Behind the Scenes with LPT Realty. We're super excited to do this. This is the behind the scenes information that we have access to at LPT Realty, where we're going to be bringing you guys weekly videos, giving you up-to-date information on the real estate market, the mortgage industry, what's happening out there, both micro and macroeconomics that's affecting what we do, and making sure that you have the best talking points so you can have productive conversations with your clients and make sure they know you're the expert about all the things going on out there in the market. All the information that we're going to be sharing with you is coming straight from the mouth of our founder and CEO, Mr. Robert Palmer himself. Really excited to take you guys on this journey. My name is Mark Ammons.
I'm AJ Ackerman.
And we are Elevated Agents.
Thank you so much for that awesome introduction, Mark. I'm super excited because this is one of my favorite things about LPT Realty. I really think this is one of the top 3 values that we get, is to have Robert every single Monday. And motivation's not even the right word. He's literally inspiring us with knowledge that we wouldn't have, right? How cool is it to have a billionaire giving us knowledge of the market, of what's happening, and updating us on all the cool, exciting things that are happening at LPT? Because I can't keep up. Can you keep up?
No, it's really tough. And the fun thing, so everything that you're going to see today comes from a weekly call that Robert does with the entire company called Motivational Monday. It's usually between 30 and 45 minutes. It's generally Robert, no matter where he's at in the country and the world, he logs in with us along with Matt Hodge, one of the executive vice presidents, and they go through all this super valuable information that, frankly, like, if you're at a different brokerage, you're probably not getting. And if you're used to sales meetings at like a traditional brokerage, like I remember we used to have, this is different, guys. This is legitimate, the stuff that you need that's going to give you that edge against the other agents in your market, where you literally are going to know information that most of the other agents don't know or won't know for a couple of weeks, because we're getting it from one of the best sources out there. So it's really exciting to bring this to you guys. And this is going to be fun.
I'm super stoked. And there was 3 big topics this Monday. One was luxury. The second was partnering up with some of these large organizations in the real estate industry. And the 3 was the jobs report. And so make sure you stick around, especially to hear the jobs report, right? Because this is stuff that a lot of agents that we don't really think of, but this helps guide us to understanding where the market's going, right? Because we're in a real estate market, and one of your jobs is to understand where the market is and what's happening in it, so that you can make good decisions and you can keep going and doing the things you need to do. But I'm super excited to talk about luxury. And here's the thing, is that, it's funny because one of the quotes that Robert that really stuck with me this Monday was, he said, "We build something for everyone." And as we were getting ready to watch the Zoom during kind of the intro, they were pointing out all of the new luxury billboards that are out there. They're basically highlighting a home that an agent lists that's worth somewhere, over $900 or $1 million. And they're starting to put them up in Florida and in Texas. And so it's really neat to start seeing this brand. And so one of the things that Mark and I hear from, we don't actually hear it, but I see it a lot on social media and things like that, is that LPT's that company, and they're really only good for new agents. Well, we're not. That's why he said we build something for everyone. Right now, in order to be a brokerage for life, we have to have a product or a system to help people grow in their business. And so one of the cool things about us being that brokerage for life and growing into the business is that when you grow, you're going to want to experience different things. And so luxury market is something that's really popular. And so right now they're in the process of building out this luxury, providing luxury marketing at an additional cost, and some coaching that's also involved, some training that's involved, where you can actually partner with other luxury people. But enough of me talking about it. Why don't we just go straight to Robert and let him explain and share what's happening right now with the luxury brand within LPT Realty.
Let's kick it to Robert.
We talk a lot about, like, how do you change the conversation? One of the traps you'll fall into as a newer luxury agent, and look, we have solutions for this too, is like, well, what's your resume? What big house have you sold? And this is where we have agents who are partnering with Benjamin Hillman, and they get the credibility of him selling Shaq's house. They partner with Miranda and get her average price point and her list of sales. But the other way to approach that is if you can change the conversation completely, and you can get the seller to not ask that trap question of, well, what other luxury homes have you sold, or talk to me about your other famous clients, or whatever that trap lands, because that is going to push it toward a very small group of established luxury agents.
Right.
Where if you can start talking about things like, let me show you the billboard I'm going to put your house on, or we've got some other cool things in the works, again, to give you that stuff to even further stand up, or hey, let me show you this really nice trifold brochure on really nice paper. There's just all these things we're going to start to, we're going to continue to build and continue to push out there, because we recognize if we can arm you with the tools to change the conversation, that is the best chance you have to break into luxury, in addition to our mentorship program, our partnership program, all these other things we have, because I'm very focused on helping agents break into listings, and then that goes straight into helping agents break into luxury listings. And a lot of what we are building here and will continue to build here is about doing just that, because we know for a lot of amazing agents out there, if they could just get their foot in the door that first time, they would be an amazing luxury agent. But it's so hard to land that first listing. And that's where having one of the seasoned luxury agents with that big resume in a partnership with you on that first listing presentation, or having the billboards and the other printed collateral, all of these things were built to help you win that first luxury listing. And then from there, you can really start to set your business off. We talk about this a lot. 10% of agents control 90% of listings. Why? Because the neighbors are watching the person who's listing the house across the street. You'll see it in neighborhoods. It pops up. It's like the contagion graph, on the zombie movie, like where you watch it spread from house to house to house. That is how listings work. And so everything we have here at LPT, Listing Power Tools, Realty, is about giving you the power to win those listings by showing up, winning the audition. You still have to do the work, but we're definitely here to provide the tools. And now that we've extended that deeply into the luxury space, we're seeing a lot of great success there, and we're seeing some of those chain reactions already take off. People are already saying, hey, I had this first luxury listing, I did the billboard, I got the stuff, I told the next seller about that, or the next seller saw what we were doing, or the neighbor told them, like, yeah, man, my agent put my house on a billboard. Like, yeah, what? They put your house on a billboard? That's crazy. But it's just such a cool conversation starter. And look, it's not that someone's going to drive by and buy that. Like, no one's going to swerve over on I-4 and write down the property address, but it is about that exposure, and it's about driving that repetition. So somebody may be like, hey, that's the house we were just looking at on Zillow, and now here it is on a billboard. I recognize the front of the house. We should call back on that house, or whatever. It's all about creating that repetition and that recall, and then positioning you as the expert, because let's face it, agents who aren't killers don't have billboards, right? Like, psychologically, that's what the seller's thinking. Like, man, they must sell a lot of real estate if they can put my house on a billboard. Like, psychologically, we are positioning you as that undisputed expert so that you can beat out that incumbent in the neighborhood. Or if you're that incumbent in the neighborhood, we're giving you the tools to keep what you got, because all the other LPT agents are going to be coming for you if you don't have these amazing tools.
Yeah, that's so funny, man. And one little trade secret that I used to do is when I was looking at neighborhoods that I would farm, I would look about how many repeat sales were with the same agent. If I saw all different agents, then I knew it was right for the geo farming. 100%. So I would go in there and I would do that. But yeah, that's awesome. And so speaking of luxury collections, we have just officially launched in Texas. Now that we've got to a certain agent density, our billboard count has gone up. Luxury collection website is now launched inside of Texas and Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin. So 4 different things. So if you go to lptluxurycollection.com, you can check it out there, and also, of course, enroll your listings there as well too to get that additional exposure. So super excited about that.
I saw a question about Virginia billboards. I know other states are curious too. That magic number is 300 agents. So you get us to 300 agents in a state, we will come with the billboards. It's what we did in Florida. It's what we did in Texas. It's what we will do everywhere we go. So get out there and let your friends know how amazing LPT is, so we can get to that 300 agent mark, so we can bring the billboards, and then that brings a lot of other opportunity, like luxury collection, things we're working on. We are playing with this multi-market billboard concept. It's still a way for you to win, even when we may not have a billboard in your market. So one of the things with luxury, and this is really critical, the buyer may not necessarily be in that city. All right, so like we were talking with a big luxury agent in Las Vegas recently, and he has a big $9 million listing in Vegas. And the idea was, hey, we're going to put that on billboards in Miami and Tampa and Orlando because a lot of wealthy people from here may want to buy that as a second home, third home, fourth home, fifth home in Vegas.
Correct.
And so in the luxury space in particular, we're looking at how we can kind of tear out that multi-market piece. So even if you're in Virginia, but we don't have the billboards in Virginia yet, well, it's like, hey, seller, I'm going to put your home on a billboard in Texas. I'm going to put your home on a billboard in Florida because some of those people may want to come to Virginia because if the buyer for your home is already here in Virginia, they're going to see this home in the MLS.
Right.
So the billboards are maybe a little less critical because someone in Virginia is searching Virginia MLS and they're driving around and their agent is searching Virginia MLS. What's not happening is someone from Miami or someone from Dallas or someone from Houston saying, wow, that's a really cool looking house in Virginia. Let me go look at it and think about moving to Virginia. And again, we don't need a lot of people. You need one to buy the house. Right. And so while the billboard is going to be seen by millions of people who are not going to buy in Virginia because they live in Texas or live in Florida, all we need is that one. And then you still get the credibility boost and everything else. So again, we're thinking about this in very broad ways. We are going to help drive absolute luxury best practices into luxury collection to help all of our agents succeed and be more successful. We are also looking at a potential internal luxury certification. This will be something optional. It'll be some classes. It'll come with some extra tools. That's something we're working on right now. There's a lot of these external luxury designations. We're looking to have one specific to LPT that we can then back up with some additional cool stuff.
Wow, that was super cool. Could you imagine getting your first luxury listing and them telling their friends, did you see that my agent put my house on a billboard?
It's baller status.
It's super cool. Now, I know some of you may be laughing at that, being like, a billboard, that's old school. Well, who else is doing that? It's all about adding value. And the other thing that I love is not only are we helping luxury agents make the transition and giving them tools that are similar or even better than the companies that they're currently with, but this whole idea of helping agents break through the luxury market. Because for those of you who don't know, the work it takes to sell a $300,000 house is about the same as it takes to sell $1 million house. Yep. Actually, a very successful person told me that a long time ago. So awesome. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. Mark's going to go ahead and kick off the next section. But wow, it's so neat to watch us building these different brands to help agents at different level here at LPT.
Yeah, on the luxury thing, I think that some of the traditional luxury brokerages are going to see what we're doing. And I think they're, so far, I don't think we've really kind of been pulling too many agents from them, but I think as agents are looking at what they can pay here at LPT to get more marketing support than they're getting at the traditional luxury brokerages, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more luxury heading this way.
And I have heard a couple people have actually won over Sotheby's and Christie agents with our Power Pack, with showing people the luxury collection. So at some point, it's either come aboard and have the same tools or allow us to continue to take some market share.
Yeah, super awesome. So the next thing we want to talk about, one of the things that here at LPT Realty we take very seriously is our relationships and our partnerships, not just with our fellow agents, with our vendors, but also with other national partners in the industry that we can join forces with to just make the industry better. So recently, we became national partners with NAREP, which is the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. And so Robert's got some very exciting things that he wants to talk about with that new partnership, as well as some of the things that we're doing internally here at LPT to really help and support our Hispanic community as agents here as a company. So we'll kick it over to Robert again.
Okay, so let's go over to some national partnerships. Recently, you just inked a deal to be a national partner for NAREP.
NAREP,
and,
yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah, I know your commitment there. So
we have a very big Hispanic influence here at LPT. And one of the early things we did is I sat down with a group of leaders from that community. We actually sat on my back porch, and the discussion was around, are you going to make your tools available in Spanish, because other brokerages had not done that, and then individual agents did it, and then they used that as a way to try to force people into their downline. It was this whole thing that is not in line with our culture, and so we committed right there that yes, and we've done a great job of that. You've actually taken the lead on that, Matt, making sure we're getting things translated, making sure that the active marketing plans and the other systems are being translated into Spanish so that we can support that Hispanic group inside of LPT. Again, we want to be the brokerage for everyone, the brokerage for life. And so now as a part of that, we've become a national partner for NAREP. And as a part of that national partnership, I'll actually serve on the Board of Governors, I think they call it, the Board of Governors nationally for NAREP. We'll also have representation on 2 of the regional boards for NAREP, and then we are also going to have a presence at their Latitudes conference, which is coming up in Miami at the end of this month. And so I'll be speaking on the main stage as a part of a CEO panel with other members of the Board of Governors for NAREP on Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to teach a breakout session on collateral marketing. I'm going to have all of our Spanish translated and our English versions of our active marketing plans and 7 homebuyer strategies and everything we've built here at LPT, and we'll be teaching a class on that. Now the class only holds 60 people, so make sure you get there early because this will probably be the smallest crowd I've spoken in front of in probably 10 years. But I was excited to embrace it. We wanted to embrace the full opportunity, so we are going to teach that class on Friday to a room of 60. My vision is there's like people lying down the wall, or like jammed in there like sardines, but that's going to be fun. So we're really excited about growing that partnership with NAREP, continuing to support all the communities. We're looking at other national partnerships. Again, we want to support all the major groups across the real estate industry, and we're talking to others. One thing that NAREP has done a really good job of is they've got a really great organized level at the national level, and that's a newer thing for them. A lot of organizations are very much small and regional because that's how real estate works. The small MLS-based kind of regional organizations, NAREP did a good job of kind of standing up this national organization so that companies like us could partner at a national level, and we're excited to do that. So if you're going to be in Miami at the end of the month for the NAREP Latitudes conference, I hope to see you there. Come check me out on stage. Come check out that class that we will be teaching. And two, if there's other opportunities out there, again, we want to be a big player across the entire space. We're only an 18-month-old brokerage, but we are the fastest growing in history, and we want to make sure that we are embracing all of the major organizations within real estate. So this is a good first step for that, and we will continue to move out further. Also having a lot of conversations of other languages that we can translate the materials into as we move deeper into different languages, and it's been really neat to be able to provide this more inclusive brokerage for life platform, because we want to be the brokerage for everyone. I hear a lot of people talk about, is LPT only for low producers? Is LPT only, do they get top producers? And I will tell you unequivocally, we get all. We have everyone here. And that's what all of these brokerages have missed. Most of their brokerages built a model that was either for the very top or maybe only for the bottom, or, however you want to think about it. We built something for everyone. And that everyone includes no matter what your primary language is, no matter what your ethnicity is, no matter what your views are on real estate, how much homes you sell. We want to be the brokerage for everyone, and that's very critical to me.
That's right.
So that's pretty cool, AJ. I mean, I think, one of the unique things that we've really done here is really just try to expand our horizons and truly make this a brokerage for life and for everyone. And like Robert said, no matter what language you speak or where you're from or what market you're in, we want to try to serve you and your clients as well as possible. So I think it's super cool, particularly putting all of our marketing to Spanish. Hugely powerful, especially here in Florida and Texas and some of the other communities that we're going to go into that have large Hispanic populations. If you're in one of those markets and you're looking to have pre-made marketing for you in the language that you primarily speak, LPT's got that. So really awesome. The next thing we're going to go into is going to be the jobs report. And so there was kind of some changes and some shifts even from the time it was announced till after. We're going to let Robert talk about. I know AJ's got a couple thoughts as well on that.
Yeah, it's so exciting. This is one of the huge values of Motivational Mondays, is us learning about what's happening on the market, because, Robert's so in tune with it. On the first Friday of every month, that's when they come out with the jobs report. And obviously everybody's really focused on the Fed right now. Why? Because high interest rates are starting to choke things out. That's exactly what Robert said. We're starting to see a decrease in sales nationally, which is obviously affecting a lot of real estate agents' businesses. And it's interesting because as we grow and we start taking market share because of all the things that we're doing and because of the marketing and inspiration, we are seeing a lot of agents hurt. And so this is something that I think is really important for you to watch, to pay attention to. And, the other cool thing that he kind of ends with is the August listing blitz that we just got done with, right? We are real estate first. And the reason why the reason why these things are important is because without real estate being first, then, if you're not selling real estate, you're not really going to be making any money. So make sure you really pay attention and listen to this, because it's, again, just important information to know. And this information is the kind of stuff that's changing on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, this is the stuff that, particularly when it comes to the jobs report, the things that he's getting ready to talk about are the things that most agents just flat out don't know, and therefore they can't talk intelligently to their clients. But if you're the one if you're the one agent that these people are talking to that actually can show that you know what's going on, why it's important, how it affects them, and how you can use that information to make their home buying or selling process better, you're going to get the business.
How are you going to stand out from the competition? I love it. You
let's
guys
kick it to Robert
enjoy.
and hear what he has to say.
Yeah, so it's weird. The jobs report is the first Friday of the month. And so that happened to be last Friday, the 1st.
Right.
And I actually missed this. So my routine is I take Reagan to school in the mornings, and while we're driving with her, I listen to Kids Bop or whatever she wants to listen to, a lot of like Paw Patrol soundtrack. And then once I drop her off, I flip over to Bloomberg. And so I totally blanked on this. I thought the jobs report was going to be this Friday. It just didn't click with me because the 1st is so early. And so I drop her off. She gets out of the car. I flip it from whatever, good mood Paw Patrol soundtrack over to Bloomberg, and they're like, in just 4 minutes, the jobs report. And I'm like, oh no. So I pull over and I get on my laptop and I'm looking at some of our positions and stuff for the bond market. And it was a shock because, again, usually it's more like the 6th, 7th, 8th, like it pushes further in. And so the jobs report came out on Friday. And here's a couple things that happened. The headline number was low. Mm-hmm. And so we created less jobs than projected. And so initially the bond market rallied and mortgage rates got a little better, and we said, okay, maybe we're through this thing. But then as people started to peel back the onion, they realized that Yellow Trucking's bankruptcy, and I guess they laid off everybody. And so Yellow Trucking laid off I think it was like 40,000 people.
Wow.
And that was kind of a fluke because, again, the idea is that all of those 40,000 truckers or people are going to immediately get rehired somewhere else in the industry because all that capacity is going to move. Because it wasn't that there was like a massive amount of, it was mismanagement at Yellowbird that was the problem, or Yellow, not necessarily lack of shipping requirements or shipping needs. And so when they add those 40,000 back in, they're like, well, wait a minute, this was actually a good jobs report, because if that hadn't happened, we would have had an extra 40,000 jobs in the number. And so by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the jobs report came out at 8:30. It took all day for people to digest this. And the analysts are digging deep and running through it and running their own calculations. And then somewhere around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, you just saw this massive sell-off. And yield shot back up, and treasuries came down, and that sell-off continued kind of through the weekend. So for those of you who don't know, the bond markets don't stop trading like the stock markets. The stock market closes at 4. Yeah, there's some futures and stuff that may go longer. The bond market trades 23 hours a day, 5 days a week, which I can tell you has created some stress in my life from time to time. There have been windows of time, especially in the last 2 years, not so much recently, where things are going crazy, and I'm up at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, trying to figure out what's going on with bond futures. They close from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time, basically just to reset the market. And then from 6 p.m. Until 5 p.m. the next day, except for Saturday and Sunday, bonds are trading. Mm-hmm. And then Sunday night, they kick off around 6 or 7 p.m., usually some light volume because it's international. And so anyway, so when the market continued to trade when it reopened from 6 to midnight. When it reopened last night at 6 or 7. So it opened at 6 or 7 last night. We saw the sell-off continue. Bond yields are up even higher this morning. Even though it's a holiday here, bond futures continue to trade because other countries are trading 10-year treasuries. So bottom line is, while the initial reaction to the jobs report on Friday morning was lower yields, lower rates, good news for us, by mid-afternoon that completely turned around, and now it has continued that negative trend into this morning. A lot of mortgage companies aren't going to put out a rate sheet today because certain parts of the market are not open. The MBS markets aren't, but the bond futures markets are, so we can see what's happening. Even though we can't trade on it in mortgage space, we can trade on it in the bond future space. So tomorrow expects higher mortgage rates when most mortgage companies start to reprint, unless something changes dramatically here today, which I don't see happening. And then we're going into a Fed decision on September 20th. And that's really what everybody's trying to decide. What is the Fed going to do on September 20th? Are they going to raise? Are they going to hold? But more importantly, what are they going to signal? Is it going to be a hawkish tone or a dovish tone? Hawkish means that they're going to raise rates higher. Dovish means that they think rates are going to start to come down. What are the hints? It's the little things in the language. We think rates are going to be higher for longer is a bad thing to say, or we don't think we'll be lowering rates until later, where if they're like, hey, we think we've done enough, we can see the cycle starting to turn. So whether they actually raise rates or not, the devil's in the details, and that language will come out on September 20th. So we are still near the highest interest rates we've seen in decades. It is starting to choke volume. We track volume across So all the MLSs were, and one of the cool things about being a national single entity brokerage is we have access to lots of data because we have all of these different MLS feeds. And I would say about 90% of our MLS feeds run through a system called Trestle, where we have that full integration into our systems. We're working on the rest. And so I can see in real time how many homes are being listed, how many homes are sold. We don't have to wait for the stats to come out like 2 weeks later. They usually lag. And we're seeing a drop in volume. We're seeing a drop in number of units sold. July was worse than June. August is worse than July. We'll see what now happens in September. But the high interest rates are choking things out. I see a question about a blitz there. Yeah, there is no blitz in September. The August blitz was a one-time thing. The brokerage is definitely not built to pay for photography forever. It was a great test. Loved seeing all the activity. Loved seeing people get out there and crush it. We know we saved agents a lot of money on photography in the month of August to get everybody juiced up. My hope is some of you embrace the additional tools, the digital marketing, the extra prospecting pack, and maybe tried something you had not tried before. That's something really important to us. And again, we are looking at, while it won't be a blitz, it will be a cost. We are looking at some upgrade programs that will probably launch next month, similar to Luxury Collection, but for non-luxury listings. And the blitz was kind of a way to test that out and see, what is the appetite for us to get involved in helping you market your listings at a deeper level. I think the blitz really showed the appetite is there. Luxury Collection has shown the appetite is there. And so now we're going to look at it. While right now you can buy the a la carte items through Listing Power Tools, you can add on digital marketing starting at $99. You can add on direct mail starting at $99. What I think we've realized is this idea of the package where you pay at closing, similar to Luxury Collection, is something that's very attractive. And it's a way for us to help as the brokerage because we have the capital to front the expenses knowing we're going to get paid at closing. Obviously, you have to factor in something there for potential cancellation, a potential loss factor for us to do that. But we see that as a way that we can really fill a gap as a brokerage so that as an agent, you can put together a $2,000 marketing package that's only going to cost you a couple $100 today, and then you pay for the rest of it at closing. And the advantage that gives you over all the other agents is massive. Right. And I'm really excited for LPT to be a pioneer at the forefront of that. And that's where Luxury Collections has started that move for us. The listing blitz was kind of a next step forward into seeing the appetite for that upgraded marketing. And now finally to move into what would it look like for us to provide amazing marketing packages for all listings where it is paid for at closing with a small deposit up front. And that's something, again, revolutionary we can do here at LPT Realty to help our agents win more listings so that their personal capital, personal financial situation, maybe lack of funds in that moment doesn't prevent them from having the best audition possible, because we know that audition is how you're going to win the next listing and the next listing and the next listing. And we want to position you to show up like fire each and every time by us fronting that cash. So this is something we have big in the works here. You almost think about it like insurance, right? So if you think about this, so for an individual agent who maybe gets their first listing, for them to drop $1,500 or $2,000 to do all the things they know they should do, right? They know that it's going to help them win the next listing. They know it's going to help them impress this seller. Because again, you got to think bigger. You're not saying, oh, well, I'm giving up $2,000 of my commission on this deal. No, you are showing the guy across the street and the neighbor next door and everyone else that you are an amazing marketer. And that is what the 10% that control most listings understand. But as an individual agent, if you put out $2,000 and then that listing doesn't sell, that can destroy your business or your personal finances. Like, we recognize that. Yeah. Where for us, if we put out $2,000 on 1,000 listings and then 10 of them don't close, it's like insurance, right? This is why everyone pays a little bit so that when someone's house burns down, the insurance company can pay the difference. And this is a role we can play as a brokerage. And the fact that no brokerage has ever done this really mind boggles me. I mean, so many of the things we're doing here at LPT that are first, I look at it and I'm like, man, how did no one ever do this? Like, This is so obvious to me, but we're going to go out here and crush everybody because they just don't see it. But for us to underwrite that cost, to say, yeah, look, when you get the successful sale, you're going to pay us whatever it is, the $1,500, the $2,000, whatever that package runs. But if a couple fall out here and there, if 10% fall out, we're okay because we're only losing $200 across each one. Where an individual agent, if you are the one agent whose one deal didn't close, you literally just lost $2,000, and that may destroy your ability to do it again. Now you go on the next listing presentation, you're like, man, I blew my last $2,000 on the house that didn't sell. I can't do it again. I can't go $4,000 in the hole. Where if we do it at scale and we underwrite that risk of loss, it creates this massive win for everyone. And I mean, we've almost announced this new program, but anyway, the cat is out of the bag. But yeah, this is something we've really been working on for months now, and we eased it in again, starting with luxury collection to see what the adoption would be, then the blitz, and now here we go. But this is how we think about it. And so now as an agent, you make the choice if you want to opt into one of these packages and get the absolute Cadillac of marketing for that listing and pay for it at closing so that you can nail the audition and we underwrite the risk. It's a really cool thing.
Right.
And again, no brokerage has done it. I don't understand why. We're going to do it, and our agents are going to win because we did it. That's the magic formula, right?
That's right.
We figure out something cool. We make it happen. Our agents embrace it at their choice. Our agents win. We win. Rinse, repeat, recycle, and that is the perpetual motion machine that is LPT Realty.
That's right.
Awesome, guys. Well, that's going to do it for everything that Robert has to share with us today. We really appreciate you tuning in with us on this brand new series. Again, Behind the Scenes with LPT is going to be a new weekly series that AJ and I are doing because we think that the information that Robert shares every Monday, while we love the fact that we have access to it here at LPT, we want to share some of this knowledge to agents who are not at LPT. And if you are at LPT right now and you missed Motivational Monday, obviously you can go back and rewatch the entire thing in LPT Connects. But if you just want the highlights, we're going to be bringing that to you guys as well and giving our little commentary. If you don't want to miss any of the new episodes, subscribe down below. That way you can get notified every single time that we drop one of these new episodes. Again, every week we're going to be coming to you with this information, and we really hope that this is the kind of information that you can use to set yourself apart from the other agents and grow your business even in this tough market. So if you got some value out of this, hit the like button below. That will also help this video reach more people like you who are looking for this information, who want to improve their knowledge, improve their business, and keep growing and elevating. So we appreciate you guys joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, be well.
Have a great day.
See you guys.